Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We're continuing our budget mechanics series looking at Proliferate Synergy. This time, our last video was on Proliferate, things to cause Proliferate, and now these are things that take advantage of Proliferate. Anyway, what do I mean by budget? $2 or less. I'm using the TCG market value as kind of my index reference point. Not a sponsor. What is Proliferate? Proliferate is a very useful mechanic in a number of strategies. Basically, you choose a number of players or opponents, and if they have counters on them, you put one more of each kind of counter they have. That's it. So it's adding counters. And you do get to choose, which can be very useful. This video is going to cover budget cards that provide Proliferate Synergy, alright? Synergy with it, not doing the Proliferate itself. We already covered that in the last video, okay? Voidwing Hybrid. Alright, so this is blue and a black for a 2/1 flyer, which isn't bad, but isn't great either. It has Toxic 1, which is very useful already with Proliferate. And when you proliferate, return Voidwing Hybrid from your graveyard to your hand. Again, so if it goes to your graveyard, proliferate, and anytime you do that, it goes back to your hand. In a proliferate deck, you're going to be doing that a lot every turn. So you can basically either throw them out as an attacker or use them as a flying blocker. And yeah, get your block in. Goes to your graveyard, proliferate, and back to your hand right away. It's also very, very cheap, so you can just keep kind of putting this down on the battlefield over and over. If you can get it through for damage, it's Toxic 1, so that's kind of one of your win cons with a proliferate deck. So this is kind of multifaceted. I think on its face, 2/1 for 2 isn't great, but it's really about how much synergy it has. This is kind of all the synergy you want with Proliferate. Prologue to Phyresis? Phyresis? Okay, Phyresis, I think. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Again, getting that first poison counter down, if you are using an infect strategy, that first poison counter is what's really important with Proliferate, because then you can just proliferate, right? Once they have one counter, you can just make the rest by proliferating. So if they have one, you proliferate 9 times and they're out of the game. Not actually that hard. 9 sounds like a lot. I think in a deck that does a lot of it, you'll be able to do that very quickly. Anyway, you also get to draw a card on top of that. So 20 cents for that one. Ever-flowing Chalice. Okay, so here's a bit. This is a very standard kind of mechanic to use in Proliferate deck. So the mana rocks with charge counters are a common tactic. Alright, so this will come in and you pay a multi-kicker 2 to put charge counters on it, right? So again, if you pay 2, it gets 1. If you pay 4, it gets 2, etc. So yeah. You can tap it to add a colorless for each charge counter on it. Again, the charge counters you can proliferate, so you're basically making extra mana out of your mana rock. So that gets carried away very, very, very quickly. The downside, I think the only downside you could point to is that it's colorless, not color mana. But anyway, using a similar card to this, I chose Everflowing Chalice. The other one that comes to mind immediately is Astral Cornucopia, but it has 3 X's as its casting cost, so it's kind of 3, where this has multi-kicker 2. For each charge counter on Astral Cornucopia, you're going to pay 3. I would put both of them in a deck, because, you can use one to cast the other and then just make them both even bigger. But yeah. This is 24 cents. Scheming Aspirant. Okay, so this is actually a really crazy card. I do not understand why it is so cheap. Alright, so whenever you proliferate, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. If that sounds familiar, Sholdred. It's Sholdred the Apocalypse for Proliferate. That's like a $90 card on card draw. I guess card draw you want a lot more. Not every deck needs Proliferate, obviously, but like, it's easier to proliferate than it is to card draw. If you're going to use this to be doing damage and stuff, it's going to be very, very easy to do. So anyway, it is 1 and a black for a 1/3, which is okay, but it's 9 cents. 9 cents. Sheoldred is literally 1,000 times more expensive. It's like $90. Excuse me? But yeah. The discrepancy between these two is insane. What is your favorite Proliferate card? What card do you like? Or Proliferate Synergy card, I guess? Also, could you hit like and subscribe? It is appreciated. Finally, Lux Cannon. Okay, Lux Cannon. You tap it to put a charge counter on Lux Cannon, or tap it and remove 3 charge counters to destroy target permanent. Not target non-land permanent, just permanent. Not target enchantment, not target creature, target permanent. It's basically all the targeted removal you'd want for a game on one card. Every turn, if you don't have an untap effect, every turn you can target removal anything you want one time. It really is just all the targeted removal you'd want for a deck on one card. It's crazy. It really is just like such an amazing card, especially with Proliferate. Remember, you can tap it to put 1 charge counter on, Proliferate twice, next turn start your knocking it down. You want to keep 1 charge counter on to be able to proliferate all the time, of course, so you probably want to get 4 before you activate it once. But yeah, not hard to do. Especially in a Proliferate deck, this is going to just like kind of keep chipping away at them. It's going to be like the major threat on the battlefield, I think. Anyway, $1.99 for that one. This has gone up recently. Okay, the list. Usually I do this one at a time, but my computer isn't behaving today, so I'm going to have to do it this way. Voidwing Hybrid is 11 cents. Prologue to Phyresis is 20 cents. Everflowing Chalice is 24 cents. Scheming Aspirant is a whole 9 cents. That's the one that stands out to me as like, should not be under 10 cents, that card. I'm surprised it's not like $10, but anyway. And finally, Lux Cannon, $1.99. I've had Lux Cannon for a while. I want to put it in a deck. But anyway, alright, take it easy.